Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. It's been more than a month since my last upload and I must sincerely apologize. Life has been pretty busy, mainly due to work commitments, so please forgive me. I also realize that I'm close to 8,000 subs at this point, so I'd like to say a heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing. Anyway, this video is all about the SAAG65 keyboard by Moon KBD. What you've been watching so far is the unboxing experience of the SAAG65, and honestly it's a little lackluster with the case coming wrapped in a PE envelope and packaged in some thick foam. The case color that I went for is what Moon KBD calls Cherry Blossom Pink, which turned out much lighter in shade when compared to the renders. The standout feature is the side profile of the case and I absolutely love it. The anodization is pretty good, the color is very even all across the case, but the machining isn't the best. You could see some step lines in the concaved areas and the corners of the case are really sharp. Two of the corners of my piece are a little scuffed. Visibly, it's quite hard to tell, but you can clearly feel it when you touch those corners. To me, it seems like perhaps those corners got bumped a little before the anodization process. However, keep in mind that this is a budget keyboard coming in at $205 US, so some slight imperfections is expected. The brass weight is PVD plated in glossy gold and is shipped with a protective layer, both on the inside and outside of the case. The kit comes with some rubber feet, a daughter board, some screws and a JST cable. The kit also comes with 50A hardness O-rings and I added an extra set of 30A hardness O-rings. I've never experienced different hardness for a Gummy O-ring mount keyboard before, so I wanted to know the difference. For the plate, I chose the polypropylene option because I've never experienced PP for a plate. The hot swap PCB has a beautiful design on it. I love the galaxy themed motif. It's definitely one of the best looking PCBs I've come across thus far. Going right into the build, we start off by first installing the rubber feet. They're pretty tall feet, so actually it looks kinda strange because they stick out in a weird way. However, the Moon KBD logo from the weight is raised, so the additional height is needed or else the logo will be in constant contact with your desk surface. Next, remove the protective layer. Sorry, no ASMR here because it was rather silent. Gotta admit though, the logo is absolutely stunning. The glossy PVD coating is really well done. And this was the point that I noticed that there were some other small blemish marks on the case, like this small dent here. Just like the corners, it's clear that these dents were present before the anodization process. From here on out, the build is going to be pretty straightforward, starting with the PCB assembly. The first order of things is to install the stabs. For this build, I'm trying out the GMK QMX Stabs, lubed with Krytox 205G0 in the housings and Dielectric grease for the wires. No other mods done to the stabs. Next up are the switches. I'm trying out the Laguna blue switches from Bolsa supply and they are pre-lubed, so I'm using them stock. I'm starting by installing two switches on the plate and then using that to align the plate and the PCB. PP is quite flexible, so I'm using a plate fork to help me out with the installation. After the switches are installed, I connected the PCB and daughter board via the JST cable and did a quick connectivity check. My test yielded no issues, so I carried on by installing the daughter board into the case using the screws that came along with the kit. Also, take note that it's much easier to install the daughter board with the JST cable already connected to it. The keycaps I'm using on this board are the JTK Night Sakuras with the Grey Mods kit. I'm putting on the keycaps now because I've never built a Gummy O-ring mounted keyboard before and I'm not sure if the O-ring will be able to handle the pressure of putting on keycaps. I'm going with the blue O-ring, which is rated at 30A hardness, and this is the softest one out of the lot that Moon KBD had. I personally enjoy keyboards that are bouncier, so my preference is to start with the softer O-ring first. It was rather straightforward, just stretch the O-ring around the PCB assembly and the O-ring will sit in between the plate and PCB, leaning against the switches. Then connect the JST cable from the daughter board to the PCB and install the PCB assembly into the case by pushing it down. Just take note to slide the assembly in from the bottom first because of the blocker. Also, take note of the area around the backspace. There's a notch in the plate that allows for some slack from the O-ring. I'm honestly surprised at how well the keycaps and the case match. Finally, I needed to put the icing on the cake with the Infinite Topo Sunset Artisan Keycap by Jankycaps. I had originally used the Night Kanji Novelty Keycap on the Escape key, so replacing it with the Sunset Artisan was pretty apt. Before I give you guys the sound demo, I just wanted to share that I tried out the 30A and 50A hardness O-rings, and I'm sticking with 30A because I enjoy the bounce of it a little more. And that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing in this slice of my life. I haven't made a keyboard build video with a voiceover before, so please let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please clicky the likey. Also, please consider subscribing if you haven't yet. I'm pretty close to 8,000 subs and your support is very much appreciated. Enjoy the sound demo and I'll catch all of you in my next slice. Bye!